Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shouting Over the News for the 16th of April, 2018. It's Monday. I'm Mark Mondays, and I'm here with Chaw. How you doing, Chaw?
Hello, I'm good. How are you, Mark?
I'm doing all right, thank you. And I'm here with Dylan. How you doing, Dylan?
Hello, I'm good, thanks. I won't ask you how you're doing, you just answered. So.
Yeah, we covered that. Been there, done that. So, as we do in Shouting Over the News, not Shouting Over Static episode, we talk about the news. I've got a few news stories that I've collated since last Tuesday. Do you guys have anything you want to talk about?
I have minimal, but some.
I have one.
All right, let's start. I'm going to guess that Chaw's is that God of War reviews came out and they're all really good.
God damn it.
All right,
10 out of
Chaw.
10s everywhere, alright?
It's not news, damn it, Chaw!
It is.
But also, it's
news
not
that
10 out of 10
we-
everywhere because their Metacritic score isn't 100%.
Alright, everywhere is not a truthful term, alright? But in the graphic that I sent you guys, there's 10 out of 10s.
There are a lot of 10 out of 10s, including from some outlets that don't give out 10 out of 10s.
Oh, really?
Which is impressive.
Yeah, I saw at least one that converted a 5-star into a 10 out of 10, which I thought was cheating.
Is that cheating, though? It's a full out of full scale, isn't it?
Full out of full.
Words are taking a back seat today.
Okay, well, yeah, so God of War doesn't actually come out yet. That comes out on Friday. It's
yeah,
out 420, baby.
On the 20th, yeah.
So much stuff coming out on 420, god damn.
I am excited for bloody Labo. That's going to be rad.
Yeah, I kind of think it's great, even though people hate the cardboard. I love the cardboard.
They do? They hate the cardboard?
There's lots of... Reddit sort of seemed to not be a huge fan, or at least made fun of it a lot.
Yeah, but fuck Reddit.
Reddit hates everything, though.
True.
Are you going to pick it up, Mark?
Probably not. But I'm very excited to see videos of other people playing with it. I barely have time to play video games that don't require me to actually build something in real life.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
And they're like significant builds as well. Like the Tested bunch did it.
Oh yeah,
Savage, but I think Norm and then a few other people did it, and it looked great. They looked like, and they did it with their kids as well, so you could sort of see that. Yeah, it's for kids, but even the simple ones took them a while. They did one that took like half an hour, and that was just these bugs, and then one that took like 2 hours that was a motorbike or something, or a fishing rod, something, I don't know.
There's a big difference between a motorbike and a fishing rod, Dylan.
They used a motorbike and a fishing rod, but they only built one of them, and I think they built the fishing rod.
Okay.
But they all look really cool, but it's a significant time sink, I think.
Yeah.
Something to do with someone else, I think, rather than just by yourself.
It's for those non-adults.
Call
Kids.
those children.
Yeah.
I think it's for parents and kids, really. It
I
looks like the kind of thing that would be good for both.
Yeah, I was going to say, I suspect it's going to be a pretty wild Christmas this year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a lot of cardboard being sold for several thousand times its actual value. Which I think Nintendo may very well have absolutely smashed it with that.
Yeah, and like the design of the instructions for how to build it are actually really quite cool as well. They're proper like I mean, they're almost games in themselves in that it's not just a video you watch, you can completely move around the entire build and then scrub through time as well. You got full 4D control of the instructions.
That's
cool.
Pretty sick, actually.
It's from what I've seen anyway, it's a very well designed thing, like all over, every part of it is really cool and nifty. And like there's one that's you build a cardboard house and then you put your Switch in it and then when you put things in the house, they appear on the screen. And like it's kind of it's for kids, like I was saying, but it still looks like it's done really well and really fucking cool. It's the kind of thing that,
it sounds
despite
interesting.
being simple, I kind of want to play with.
It sounds like it's simple, but much like a lot of things Nintendo does that are simple, there is incredible scope for complexity and imagination. So,
yeah,
who knows? Maybe it will take the world by storm, and then everybody will play with cardboard, and real video games will be shit all over.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's going to sort of create some. I think there's, from what I remember, I think it's got some sort of like make your own capabilities in it. So I'm hoping that those are actually fairly sort of in depth, and people can make actually quite cool things, and not just really simple stuff, but I don't know, involved things, and then people can put out whatever they want on the internet to be just like build this and then play this ridiculous game. I think that would be quite cool. Fun way to go with that. But don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see until what? Is it Friday?
Yeah.
I like how we went from God of War to Nintendo Labo. Very similar things.
I think God of War is a tricky one, isn't it? Because having not played it,
We can't really talk about it.
I don't necessarily know if there's any value in us just sitting here going, I don't know, it looks cool, because actually the stuff I've heard about it does sound really cool, but I'd kind of want to see if I can make my own opinion on it, whereas Labo is unique enough that you can already kind of formulate an opinion on what that's going to be about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's your news, Mark?
I've got a grip of news. I've got one that I think's really great, actually. I really like it. The Pokemon anime has had its 1000th episode.
That is great. I quite like that too. I mean, the stuff I've watched of the later ones is a bit more disappointing, but the fact that it's still going, I think, is quite nice, because, man, if I didn't shed some tears over the first Pokemon film.
Oh, that fucking Pokemon film isn't killer. It's tough.
Did you ever see the Butterfree episode?
Yes, the Butterfree.
Oh, I had that in book form as well, and goddamn, that's an emotional experience.
I have no idea what this is.
Have you watched any Pokemon?
I watched some, yeah. I think watched the first season on Netflix.
Well, the Butterfree episode's in the first season.
Oh, okay.
He has a Butterfree, and then there's an entire episode about the Butterfree. If you'd seen it, I feel like you'd remember it, because it's quite a thing. You know what I mean, right, Mark?
It was a while ago.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I think it's in the first season. It's in Indigo League.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
You would have seen it.
Okay. All right. Well,
maybe you're just an emotionless robot.
Yeah, maybe I'm just a robot.
I would believe that. No, I think Pokemon's really cool, and I'm really happy that it's hit 1000 episodes. So I mean, because it's a funny one, right? Because it actually hit 1000 episodes in Japan, like 6 months ago.
Oh yeah.
Or something. So this is just the English release.
Oh, okay.
The 1000th episode. But that means that now people can really understand the intent of the author, because it will be translated by them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that's great, because like Pokemon's one of those things that I think the reason it's great is for the world. So obviously the anime is, I think, where a lot of people actually enjoy it, because the card game's kind of shit. At least for most people. I think if you get really into it, you can enjoy it. But I had the cards as a kid, but I don't think I ever properly played the card game. But I had a fucking ton of cards.
Yeah.
And
I'm right there with you.
if you go back and play those original Pokemon games, they're so slow. They're so hard to play. But I think you get drawn into them because it's kind of a great world, isn't it? It's one of those It's a really easy world to get lost in, and so I can understand why there's 1,000 episodes of it, because hot damn, it's pretty great.
So, like, because I have slightly older brothers, watched a lot of the original Transformers anime, like the 80s one. And then I know a lot of people, when I was in, like, say, primary school, be like, oh, Transformers is great. People would be talking about the Transformers that was on the TV then. Like, Beast Wars or whatever the fuck. And so, that must be the case now, right? There must now be people who are watching Pokemon, and for them, Pokemon is not Indigo League Pokemon, which to me is Pokemon. Like, do they even have a concept of Pokemon that, like, the Pokemon anime that features, like, Brock and Misty? Is that even a thing that computes for them?
I don't know if those guys ever even come. I've not watched any of the recent ones, but I know that, like, Brock and Misty, after the Indigo stuff, whoever were his companions next time, I think, like, May or something, right?
Yeah, like he went to, like, the Orange Island or something, didn't he?
Yeah, Brock and Misty still turned up occasionally, but
they, like, cameo, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't know if they still do, but I wouldn't be too surprised if they didn't, because, I mean, like, I get what you mean. It might be at the point where do kids who still watch it even care? But I guess there's probably enough adults that still watch it.
Brock and Misty haven't actually been gym leaders in a Pokemon game. Like, when was Fire Red and Leaf Green?
God, years ago, like 2000 and... I'm going to guess.
That's a long time ago.
2005?
So, yeah, it's been, what? Because I don't think they would have turned up in any other ones, unless...
2004, mate, I was so close.
So it's been possibly 14 years since the last time there was actually a Pokemon game with Brock and Misty in.
Yeah,
right?
So, I mean, there's
or
much...
are they in when you return to Kanto in Gold and Silver? Because then maybe it's been since, like, Soul Silver and Heart Gold. But even then, like...
Still a while ago.
That's still a while ago. So I wonder if there's even any sort of... This is perhaps a bit too philosophical for... I didn't quite expect this to happen, but is there even any, like, cultural weight left to Brock and Misty as characters?
I feel like it must just be, at this point, nostalgia to ever bring them back, because you're still going to have adults watching it, and I think Japan of all places is going to be aware that it's not just kids watching their cartoons.
Yeah.
They're apparently in the closing credits
of every episode.
Yeah.
Weird.
According to the Bulbapedia.
Oh god, we can't have another episode where we just read from Bulbapedia.
Hey, that was a good episode.
That was a good ass episode. I don't know. I like the Pokemon anime. About once a year, I go and stick on an episode from from Indigo League and just sort of let like 5, 6, 7 episodes play through for a couple of hours while I'm like doing something else and just get that like hit of nostalgia, and then I go back to doing something else. But I pretty regularly revisit the Indigo League because I don't know. It's much like you, Dylan. There are bits of that have quite a strong emotional resonance with me.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool that it's reached 1,000 episodes in like 20 years. What news did you bring to the table today, Dylan?
So I had tried to keep note of the occasional things I saw since last time we recorded. Do you guys know about Billy Mitchell?
That's one of the things I've got noted down, actually. Yes, I do.
I don't.
So he is famous for having lots of Guinness World Records in various retro video games. Like he had a perfect Pac-Man run, and I think he has like, I don't even know all the video games he has it in, but he's got Donkey Kong and
yeah. I think his most famous one was he was in a documentary about Donkey Kong, wasn't he?
Yeah, and then there was a video, I don't know how long the speculation about his legitimateness has been around, but I remember watching a video a few months ago of a guy basically pointing out how clear it is that he's being cheating, because this guy's clearly got links with the what are they called, umpires or referees that decide on that like oversee these record attempts, and all the videos he'll like claim that he uses an actual machine, and then you can tell from the video and from videos of other emulators and machines that he's actually using an emulator, so why would he lie unless he's cheating and stuff like that. So there's this big case has been built up against him, and now Guinness have actually taken away all his records, right?
So it's not it's not Guinness. It's the arm of it's a group of people who do video game world records that then get mirrored into Guinness.
Okay,
called
so
Twin Galaxies.
Twin Galaxies, yeah. So was it that Twin Galaxies took them away, and then that just as a result Guinness removes it too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So Twin Galaxies are they're like the governing body of video game records. And yeah, you're right, Dylan. This has been knocking around for a couple of months now. People have been talking about this, and this idea that what was claimed to be actual arcade footage of him getting his world record score in Donkey Kong, which I'm not even sure is still the world record anyway, but nonetheless, it turns out it was actually in MAME, or at least. So I don't know if do you know exactly how they managed to tell the difference, Dylan?
So what stuff I saw for telling the difference between an emulator and the arcade was to do with how the things loaded in. So you could see that when it loaded in from the arcade machine, different objects on the screen loaded in first. And it was to do with, I think it was basically to do with how the screen refreshes.
Yeah, so on an arcade machine, I believe the whole screen comes in. And then in MAME, and it's actually different for different versions of MAME, the screen comes in a different way. And so, someone put up this analysis being like, well, this is ostensibly this guy's world record run or whatever. And he's
clearly lying about it.
Yeah, but it's a lie. And so I feel like maybe even we spoke about this on the show possibly, but have you heard the statement he put out trying to justify that it wasn't fake?
I've seen a few of the things, because he did a few interviews at the time, right? Like just after the videos started coming out, all the claims started coming out, and there was stuff like, it was basically him going, like, why would I lie about it? But even if I did, it doesn't matter. I still got the record. And weird stuff like that, where it was he started to sort of not deny it, but try and make it seem like it was okay that he was using MAME rather than the arcade machine. And it was, I can't remember exactly what he said. I've seen a few different things.
So the one
and stuff.
The film footage that Jeremy has, shows MAME play. Now, I contend that if he gets the original tape, or he gets the original room shot, he will see that what I say is true. I'm not disputing what he says. What I'm disputing is the fact that I want him to have the original tape. And the fact of the matter is that the original footage was given to Twin Galaxies. Twin Galaxies has it, or should have it, and if it's anywhere other than Twin Galaxies, that's a real problem. So what he managed to do there is not actually say anything while somehow putting out a statement about these accusations that what he's done is false.
Yeah.
And then he's actually come out today saying, I've been asked to address things that are recently in the media. The fact of the matter is, now there's a true professional due diligence being done to investigate things that happened as far as 35 years ago, in a professional manner, not in a shock jock mentality designed to create hits. We will show that everything has been done Everything was done professionally. According to the rules, according to the scoreboard, the integrity that was set up. Not 2014 forward by the current regime, who wants to reach back 35 years. Everything will be transparent. Everything will be available. I wish I had it in my hands right now. I wish I could hand it to you. But it's taken a considerable amount of time. Witnesses, documents. Everything will be made available to you. Nothing will be withheld. You absolutely have my commitment to that. We've been at this since 1982, and it's not going to stop now. So that's his statement he put out today. But it doesn't, again, and that's not me reading it weird. That's just reading what the transcript of the interview he gave that Kotaku has put up.
Yeah.
He sounds like a lunatic. Right? I'm not the only person who reads these statements and thinks that it doesn't actually make any sense and what he's saying is nonsense, right?
It does sound really off. I mean, there's just something like... Because it's quite clear that something's up with the record. Like, you can see these videos that have gone into showing it have been quite clear and in depth, and it's not just sort of one video of a record that's funny. There's stuff like someone filming him at an arcade doing this, and then they go to change the game card in an arcade machine so he can do a different record, and then they sort of hide the changing, and then when they go back to film it, you can see that it's the same game card and stuff like that. So there's clearly something going on. But then he's coming out just like, oh yeah, I'll definitely help and I'll be able to prove it. And it's kind of like, well...
Just like find the tape. What?
Yeah. It's... I don't know, at this point, it's almost like he's putting the... Even though he says he's going to do it, it's just to a point where it's like, oh, well, we couldn't find the stuff anymore. That's not fair on me just because other people lost the tapes, kind of thing. And I don't know, it seems odd, but I don't really know why.
Because, you know, as well, Twin Galaxies, they have records for MAME runs. You can set a record in whatever you want to set a record in on MAME. But you can't claim then that it's an arcade record.
Yeah, but it's a lot easier to cheat in MAME or something, isn't it? Isn't that the reason that people...
Well, you can lock your seed down, so in games that have any level of randomness, you can keep playing till you get like a perfect seed.
Yeah.
And then keep that as your start, and then it just becomes rote repetition, as opposed to any sort of... I say that's unfair. There is a skill element to it, but it becomes a lot less luck-based and more about understanding your seed, and I think that's why they have the distinction between the two.
It just seems... It's also strange, but he seems like kind of a strange guy, so makes sense.
Have you ever watched King of Kong, the documentary that he's in?
No, I've only seen clips from it in all those videos. I spent like a good hour watching various videos once I saw that first one, so I've seen a few clips from it from those, but I've not watched the full thing.
Yeah, like he really comes across as a bit of an antagonist in that, and this entire situation isn't really helping, if I'm honest.
Have you seen the interview with him where he's clearly gone on an interview? He's clearly only gone on it because the guy is like amenable to him, and is just completely unbiased. He's coming on going like, everybody's attacking this amazing, great guy. This guy's the best. I fucking love this guy. And then just doesn't ask him any... I think it's sort of when accusations were first coming out. And doesn't ask him any sort of hard questions about where this stuff's from and what's he been doing. And it's just like, you're setting up these weird situations just so you can seem better. And it's like, how many people actually care?
Yeah, he seems like a really weird dude.
Yeah.
Oh well. What are you going to do?
They're looking into it now, so that's good, I guess.
Well, he said he'll release documents and stuff, right? So, if he does, when he does, we'll know.
True. Maybe he'll be validated and he actually has done them all somehow, but...
Yeah, maybe he's just going to turn up with a couple of VHS tapes, but I don't quite know if that's going to happen, is it? That's not the gut feeling I get from what he's saying.
It would be a bit incredible if it did. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a strange situation all round, I think.
I've got one last bit of news. If you guys are interested, or we can sort of call it there. It's not. It's sort of. It's more like a double bill of announcements from Sega.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I saw something about this. They had a big announcement, but I
So
haven't seen what it is yet.
they announced the Sega Mega Drive Mini,
Okay.
but they haven't actually spoken about a release date or a complete list of games for it yet. So it's more just like a, hey, we saw that did really well for Nintendo, so we're going to get all up in that shit. Which, you know, good for them. But, yeah, I don't know.
It's nice to make money.
Yeah, like I think it said it's going to come out in Japan sometime later this year. They haven't even put out a Western release date yet. And they haven't even announced what's coming out in it yet. But they're going to make it, which I don't know. Did you guys
It
ever
seems
play
like
any
a
Mega Drive game?
complete waste, because they had there was like a Sega Fest thing, right, recently.
Yeah.
Yesterday or today, one of them. So they announced it there. So I kind of get why they announced it, but maybe it would have been better to hold off until they actually had some stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
But
that seems too easy.
yeah, that seems like the sensible thing to do. We don't want to do that.
Where has Going Sensible ever got a business?
Yeah. I've got Oh, you've got another one. Sorry.
I would say the other announcement coming out of Sega was that they're re-releasing Shenmue 1 and 2 as a double bill ahead of the release of Shenmue 3, which I think is pretty outrageous.
That was the weirdest part of, what was it, E3 2 years ago now?
Yeah.
I think it was last year,
it
wasn't
was
it?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
It was a very strange moment.
When they were like, Shenmue 3, also it's going to be a Kickstarter.
Yeah. Man, Sega are doing some weird stuff with announcing incomplete things, I guess.
Yeah, they must not have a huge amount going on. Or maybe they just actually want to talk about it properly in like 2 months at E3. And so now they're just going, look, we've got things. Trailers forthcoming. But that's not really what they're saying. They're more just saying, hi guys, remember us? Which is weird.
Don't forget us.
Because also Yakuza 6 is getting loads of really, really good reviews. And comes out in like a week or something in the West.
Yeah.
So like, they just seem to be behaving really strangely.
They just don't know what's going on anymore, do they? They're the old dittery grandfather of games.
They don't really have a lot of games currently. Any big profile games, do they?
It's like Yakuza.
Yeah.
That's about it. Yakuza's getting more and more popular, to be fair. Like, Yakuza 0 seemed to have been the one to bring it to the West in a big way. Because all I'd ever heard about Yakuza before that was Yakuza 1 has some shoddy voice performances from Michael Madsen and Mark Hamill. And that the rest of them are just insane. And then Yakuza 0 came out, and everyone was like, holy fuck, this is great. And then I got it, and I happen to agree. So, it seems like they're getting something with that, but I don't know what else they have. Shenmue, apparently.
They have the Total War games as well, but that's nothing.
This is true. That's like the weirdest thing that Sega has also. It's like the least Sega property. It's like they got it by accident.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, we'll buy it, why not?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Sega they're doing all sorts of weird shit, but Shenmue, I guess. I watched a Let's Play of the first Shenmue game, and it doesn't look very good. And it seems like putting it on the PlayStation 4 isn't going to make it better. Yeah,
No.
Yeah, exactly.
I do have... HD's rubbish. We're not about HD now. We like 8-bit. That's the future.
Yep, I want chiptunes all up in this bitch.
Low poly games exclusively.
I don't know.
Sharpest
What have you
edges.
got, Dylan? What are you going to finish us off with?
Sort of two things, but mainly one big thing. So I'll end with that. One thing is that the next Destiny... I don't think I spoke about it last week. The next Destiny DLC is coming out soon.
Oh, really?
There was a leak, and now they've actually announced it. But the announcement is great, because it was just a Reddit post. And a blog. But it wasn't big or anything. They were just kind of like, yeah, here's our roadmap for the next few things. So there's a big DLC coming out, which looks like it could be quite cool. Looks like they're bringing some stuff back to it. And then in September, it looks like they've not explicitly said, but there's some big changes that seem to be happening. And everybody seems to think that that's going to be the sort of big paid expansion.
It's going to be their Taken King.
Exactly, yeah. And they're going to bring back like random drops for weapons and stuff. So the like modifier on weapons is random again and stuff like that. So it kind of puts a bit more of a grind back into it, which I think is very needed.
Yeah.
So that's coming out. So that's quite exciting. People are getting a bit. They're like, there's finally more stuff, because after Curse of Osiris was a little bit rubbish, and then they just didn't bring out anything else for a while. It's kind of dying a death, and they need to really reinvigorate it. So that's exciting. But also, there was the Microsoft, I think it might have even again been, it was just around when we recorded last time actually, Microsoft's big thing, and they announced a few new original Xbox backwards compatible games.
Oh.
And I think it's brilliant, because one of them is Blinks the Time Sweeper.
Great.
I think it's backwards compatible from tomorrow, including also Elder Scrolls 3, which is quite cool.
That is cool.
Wow.
But then a few, like Destroy All Humans, I think, is coming out. The Battlefronts and other Star Wars games are going to become backward compatible, which is great. So yeah, exciting times. I
Oh,
think it's
wow.
19 new games they've announced.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I think we mentioned last week that though I don't even have a huge amount of nostalgia for a lot of original Xbox games, I think their backwards compatible drive, just to try and at least get what they can available on everything, is just so fucking good. I'm
Yeah.
so impressed by it.
And I mean, it's working well for them, because nostalgia's fucking brilliant. It really...
Hey man, we'd spent like 10 minutes talking about the Pokemon anime.
True. Yeah. That reminded me of something else I was going to say, and I've completely blanked now. It doesn't matter. Does it? No. I can't remember. Oh well.
Probably not.
It was going to be mediocre news anyway, so...
Well, thank God you didn't say it then.
Yeah. It must have been if I can't remember it.
Would have just been disappointing. Well, I think we would probably call that an episode. I don't know. It's just a quick one this week, because we've all got lives to live. Just a
Yeah, but
rundown of what's going on.
Is it next week or the week after we're doing... we should be back with our big episode, right? I think it's next.
The week after.
Week after.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to record our big episode on Saturday the 28th of April.
Okay, cool.
That's what I've got in my calendar.
Sounds good to me. I just thought we should announce it a week early, but I've done that too early now, so...
2 weeks early. Don't worry, we can say it again next week as well. We are kind of doing it a week early, because this will go up on Wednesday the 18th. Which means that is kind of a week. It's better than doing it going up on Wednesday the 25th, saying, well, no, because then it would be going up on the 2nd of... Yeah, it's 2 weeks early. Sorry. It's weird when you record on a day that isn't the day you upload it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's confusing
Fucks
for
my
everyone
head up.
involved.
Yeah.
It's like when you see people on chat shows in America make reference to some, like one of the guests make reference to the time of day or what day it is, and it's just like, oh no, you've ruined it. You've ruined the illusion. Like, Graham Norton show's recorded on a Thursday? This is outrageous.
Well, I'm going to say that it's 7 p.m. on a Monday.
Shit, you're giving away lots of information about our lives.
Not that we're alive at 7 p.m. on Mondays.
Yeah, man. It's big news.
Well, I'm not
Fuck.
lying.
Fuck. Alright, well, this was a very slightly stilted, but nonetheless, I think, informative episode of Shouting Over the News.
Yeah.
A show and tell news project. Fuck, we'll workshop it. I've been Mark, and I've been talking about news. You
I've
guys do
been-
you.
Dylan. I wasn't sure what we were going for then. I've been Dylan, I guess.
I've been sure.
Why do you sound confused about that?
I don't know. I'm just laughing because. Yeah.
Okay, boys, it's been a pleasure, as always. Bye.
Au revoir.
Bye bye.
Mate, I switched that up.